Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hardcore Fab channel. Today's video, we're going to be working on a little fender. Thought this might be kind of a fun little project to share with you guys. I don't do too much motorcycle stuff, as you guys know, but I went ahead and agreed to go ahead and try to help this lady out with her motorcycle. She's got a fender here that does not fit her bike. They did some modifications to wheels and tires or something like that, and I'm not 100% sure. We're going to go over and find out in a minute here exactly what we need to do to modify this to make it work, but long story short is they can't find a fender that actually works that anybody makes, so we're going to have to modify this one to be able to work on our bike. And to be able to do that, I think what we're going to do is try this bad boy out again. So we did a video with the Arccaptain Welder here a while back. I'll put you guys a link to that over here if you guys haven't seen it. I was really actually pretty surprised at how well this little welder works. And we're going to put it through his paces again today because I contacted Arccaptain after that being such a good welder and being pretty happy with it, and told them that I would like to try out some of their TIG stuff and their spool gun stuff. So they sent over a TIG setup. That's what I got right here in this bag. So we're going to hook that on there. We're going to see how that works because I think that's going to be the perfect way to fix this fender. And the spool gun stuff, we'll have to find another project for that later because I don't have one right now. But I'm sure we'll have something eventually. So anyways, we're going to go over and see what we need to do to modify this fender and get to work on this thing. Okay, so we ran over there. We kind of got a quick look at what's going on with the bike and what we needed to do. And I guess we're at the point now where we need to go ahead and mark the back of this thing because it was kind of back there in an area that looks like it's going to hit and be a problem. So we can cut that off and then we can go ahead and split this fender. And I think we're going to end up adding about an inch right here to the middle of the fender and make this thing a little bit wider where it'll fit. Connor's standing there. You want to cut the fender or do you want to set up the welder?
Either way don't bother me. Mess with the welder. I have a little bit of experience with that already. So
all right, set up the welder then. I'll mark this out and cut the bottom of this off. Go for it. All right, I got the trim laid out here for the bottom of this thing, and it wasn't until after I measured everything all the way around and made it the same, got the calipers out and got a line going on around there. It wasn't until after I did that that I realized that this fender doesn't actually sit here flat and square. It actually needs this side lifted up about 1/4 of an inch or so, or maybe 3/16, and then that gets the center line pretty well straight up and down. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off and leave a little extra on this side, and I'll probably have to dial it in with the flap wheel to make sure that it actually ends up being where it's straight up and down. Probably something about the way that they cut this end off when they did it, or however they rolled this edge or something like that, but yeah, we'll get it, no big deal. Connor, in the meantime, ran to go get some tungsten because he got that all put together there real quick, and we don't have any tungsten that comes with it. So that's going to be my first complaint here on that deal. If you're buying the stuff for the TIG, it comes with all the cups and the other stuff. I don't know why it didn't come with some tungsten, but not that big of a deal. He's going to run to Harbor Freight and grab some, or Tractor Supply or something, and he'll be back here in just a few. give you guys a quick look at this here real fast and see how that thing was like over here on that side, and then how uneven this thing is across the bottom. It's pretty crazy. But we got her dialed in a lot better than that now. So we're pretty good. Now I need to go ahead and round these corners off. This is rounded off here, so we'll find something here to round that off there and make that look a little bit better. Let's see if some tape would work. That don't look too bad. Let's go with that. I'll just use the outside of this tape, and if we can make it match that, we'll be good. That'll have just about exactly the same radius as we had on there before. Well, so Connor got this thing set up and has actually already played with it a little bit here, and seems to be happy with the way it's working, other than he broke the end off of our torch head here.
Yeah.
But that was not the machine's fault. That's Connor's fault, and we're blaming Connor on that one 100% for sure.
I'll take the blame on that one. Yep.
So anyways, short of that, seems to be working out good. We got some tungsten for it, and it hooks up pretty simple. We just disconnected everything from doing the MIG and stuff that we were doing with it last go around, and the ground clamp goes over here on this side, and the lead for the torch on that side, and that's it's reverse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes on negative.
Torch goes on negative. Ground goes on positive. Okay, so that kind of sets you guys up there. It does have a whole separate hose rather than the one that was going through the machine for the TIG. It's separate, so it's this red one here, and it's just going right over here, and we end up hooking it over to the regulator that we got before for the MIG welding, and it's onto a straight argon gas bottle now. So it's ready to rock and roll, I think, at this point. Like I said, Connor already used it a little bit, and seems to be doing pretty good. So I think we're ready to go ahead and cut the fender in half and get our strip made to start sticking it back together. So to get this line, I went ahead and took some calipers, and I measured across here, split the difference, and then I sit here and I started dragging calipers down here and put a scratch line on this thing, going off of this side little mark here that's on this rolled edge, coming down to this bead rolled line right there. I was able to put one right in there. I ended up actually end up with two lines on there, doing it on both sides, and then that kind of gave me a spot there in the middle between the two. There was about a 1/4 of an inch gap between the two of them. I can run my tape right down the middle, and I know that at that point I'm in the center. So might not be 100% perfect right in the middle, but it's pretty darn close. So it should be good enough that we wouldn't have any problems with welding a piece in there in the middle. So yeah, you ready to cut us out a strip?
Yeah.
Need to know how long, huh?
Yep.
So looks like a 3-foot strip will do it. So I guess while Connor's cutting us a strip and there's a train coming, I'm gonna go ahead and just start cutting this down the center. Put you guys on time lapse. You won't have to listen to the train. So it's important to note right here that if we're going to be putting a strip in here, that we ought to probably make it the same thickness of material. And an easy way to do that is just get you one of these little sheet metal sizing tools. And it's basically just a go, no-go gauge. If it slips on there, then you know it's either that size or smaller. You move to the next one and it doesn't slip on that one, so it has to be the one that it slips on last. And that tells us on this one that this fender is really hard for me to read. 20 gauge. So Connor cut us out a strip, and we'll make sure that it is also 20 gauge. It sure seems like it wants to be 22, but it just won't quite go on there. 20 is kind of loose, but 20 is kind of loose on this one too. So I'm going to say that's the same size. So we should be good with that strip right there that Connor made for us. You guys can pick up one of these for like way cheap too. I think they're probably like less than 10 bucks for one that's even better than this one. This one was a freebie from the metal store, so if you happen to have a good metal supplier, they might give you one. Anyways, I think we're ready to sit this up here and see if we can't start tacking this strip in. So Connor's going to go ahead and clean up both sides of our metal here. Kind of burning up my wooden table, huh?
Yeah.
We might ought to put a piece of sheet metal on top of this for a sheet metal working table or something.
Yeah.
I thought wood was going to be a good idea, but it's really turned out not to be.
Yeah, at very least, replaceable wood top.
Well, we could just screw another one on top of this one.
True. But yeah.
Anyhow, Connor's cleaning up that, because if you're doing some TIG welding, you want to make sure that everything is clean. It doesn't weld good if you've got any kind of grease or grime or anything left on there. Probably need to take the rest of that burr off too, huh?
Yeah, sides there.
So we'll get this all cleaned up and get it lined up here to start tacking in, and we'll come back then. To go right above my thumb, I think. Is it on? Nope.
Yeah, you gotta plug it in there. Yeah.
What a piece of junk. It don't even work without being plugged in. All right, let's try this one more time. Hey, it even makes noise now. Got hot on my finger.
Yep. Check that.
So Connor, you're the one that's actually welded most of this fender with that new TIG welder. What are you thinking of it?
I think for the price point, it's not that bad. You can definitely get some stuff done for it. But if you actually plan on doing quite a bit of welding, I'd invest in a pedal so you don't have to use the strike to arc.
So the strike to arc is new and different than what you're used to, but you were able to use it and get it done.
Yep, I was able to use it, get it done. The leads aren't the Cadillac leads, but they do work. They're kind of stiff and the head doesn't bend on them. But for the price point, I don't think it's all that bad.
Yeah, to get the really soft leads and get a bendable head, you're looking at thousands of dollars rather than hundreds of dollars.
Yep.
So probably a pretty good deal for the guy that's just looking to do a little bit of stuff here and there in his garage, and also wants a MIG welder to be able to MIG weld some stuff and work on just your regular projects that you're gonna have for the normal guy in the normal household garage. For the most part, that's pretty decent. You can still see a few little spots here that's got some welds, and I might go back over there and sand that just a little bit more and see if we can't get that just a little bit better, but I think you guys get the idea at this point, and I think I'm getting really, really close here to the point where I'm gonna call it. But it was kind of a fun little project to work on, and it's kind of fun to be able to try out the new leads for the welder there and do some TIG stuff, and then also to play around with the new plenishing hammer that we haven't had a chance to show off much here in the shop yet. So yeah, that's pretty fun, and can't wait to get to do some more of it. But for now, I'm gonna call this one good because I gotta get this stuff rendered and uploaded to YouTube, and I think I only got like an hour. So this one's probably gonna be a little late when I get it posted. So sorry about that, but I appreciate you guys watching and following along, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday.